Okay, I'm just going to look at solving equations. We're going to do using the common denominator method. And we're going to build you up from, so when you've got one single denominator, what do? So like you take away the 5, and then you have 2x on 3. 5, they go out. 7 minus 5 is 2. So now how do I get rid of the 3? Well, it's divided by 3, so you times 3 on both sides. Then you got your 2x. 2 times 3 is 6. And then, because it's times 2, you divide by 2. So then you end up with x equals 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, but what would happen if you had two different denominators? Let's say you have equals 2x on 5 plus 1. And I better make that an equal sign, otherwise we're not going to have an equation. Okay, so if you look at this here, you could find a common denominator. So if you look at the 3 and the 5, you go, okay, 3 goes into that 5. That goes 3 and 5 both go into 15. 3 times 5 is 15, and 5 times 3 is 15. Now, with a fraction, to keep it the same fraction, what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So you multiply the top by the same number. So 3 5s are 15. So you've got to times the top by 5 because you times the bottom by 5. And 5 3s are 15. So you times by 3. So you've got to times the top by 3. So let's just simplify that now. So you get 25x on 15 plus 7 equals 6x on 15 plus 1. Now, looking at that then, you need to then collect the like terms. So if you go with the rule, letters left, like the two L's, letters left, and numbers, you go to the right. Okay, so we've got to get rid of this 6x that's sitting on that side there because we don't want that x there. And then we'll have to get rid of the plus 7 that is here because that's a number and we don't want that number on that side either. So it's going to equal 6x. I'm just going to rewrite it so it makes more sense when we do it. All right, so next step is if you minus the 6x on 15 on that side minus the 6x on 15 on that side, the 6x on 15 will disappear. So on this side here, we have 25x on 15 minus 6x on 15. And you notice we still have our 7. So I'm just going to rewrite that 7 there. So we have plus 7 equals, now the 6x on 15 has disappeared, so it just equals positive 1. You don't have to write the plus in front. Now, when you add or subtract fractions, you take the numbers that are on top and you add or subtract them, and then you keep the same denominator. So 25 minus 6 is 19, so that's 19x, and the denominator stays as a 15. Plus 7 equals 1. And now it just becomes a nice equation like that, okay, because I've got rid of the x's on the right-hand side, and we've just collected the fractions together and we've subtracted them. So 19x on 15. So the next thing I really need to do is get rid of that 7 because it's like, remember, it's like peeling away a piece of fruit to get to the core. You have to go on the outside first. And the thing furthest away from the x is that 7. That's why that 7 has to go first. And then you can start getting rid of the things that are really next to the x, like the 19 and the 15, because they're right next to the x. If you look at that, they're like mates. You can see they're next to each other there. Plus 7, so minus 7 on both sides. Plus 7 minus 7 disappears. And if you look at this side here, you get equals, keep the equal underneath each other. 1 minus 7 will be minus 6. And now we're in business to finish that off. So if we're looking at this now, the next thing we would do is we want to get rid of the denominator because we don't like the fraction part. So that's divided by 15. So you've got to times 15 times 15. And then we go, all right, the 15 here will cancel. So you just got 19x, which is as was I wanted. And 6 times 15, 6 tens are 60, and 6 fives are 30. So altogether it'll be 90. A minus times a plus is a minus. And then that's times 19. So now we have to divide by 19. And just remember that instead of doing division, the actual quicker way of doing this is just to do it as a fraction straight out. The 19s go out, and then you are left with x equals minus 90 on 19. And that's your solution.